Hi, and welcome to the Planet Driven Brands podcast. In this show, we will be discussing with our guests how brands they represent can help in the drive to build a better, more sustainable and safer planet. We will highlight brands as drivers for change and the role they play as influencers. How will brands positively impact the planet and its environment? This is what we're going to find out. Do brands actually have any responsibility to change? Planet Driven Brands podcast, episode 27. Today's guest is Sarah Luiz, founder of Positive Impact Entrepreneurs. Today we're going to be talking about food waste and efficient use of natural resources. Hi Sarah, thanks so much for coming on to our show. Can you give us a quick introduction?
Hi Nick, well, my name's Sarah and I am the founder of Positive Impact Entrepreneurs. So my mission is to see an end to food and toxic chemical waste, and that's supporting the UN's Sustainable Development Goals to achieve good health and well-being and the efficient use of natural resources by 2030.
Where do you stand in terms of where brands share responsibility to be more sustainable?
So this kind of reflects my journey, because after working in the corporate world for many years in marketing and media, I then stepped out and started to support startups and entrepreneurs with their brand and marketing strategies to help move consumer culture in a positive direction. And I reached a point there where I got really frustrated because there was all this amazing creativity launching products. And then you got to the distribution channels and that's where you stopped. So I then thought, okay, how can I create more impact? And now I'm looking at launching innovation programs and partnering with agile organizations that offer transparent and efficient circular ecosystem solutions. What I mean by that, to answer your question, is I did think it was on the brands, but now because I see the frustration, it's a case of, okay, we have a corporate structure, we have young brands. The responsibility needs to be drawn to systemic change rather than brands constantly having this amazing energy to make change. It's a case of now we have to look at how we rebuild systems.
So do you think it's then the businesses themselves and the leadership, or like, as you just said, it's systemic, so everybody really should be doing this?
It's systemic. So the reason why what I'm doing now is I'm building innovation programs, because we are at a point now in the world where even corporates are saying, okay, we can't innovate. We are too big to make the changes that we need to support these UN sustainability goals. So it's great because they are open to conversations now. But 10 years ago, that it was still people turning a blind eye.
They're turning a blind eye. Why do you think that was, and why do you think it's changed?
It's turning a blind eye because it's working, and there's nothing threatening them too much. So and this is going back to my university experiences. I did a marketing degree and then I went out into the world, and then I had to operate in the world as it was. And then to be a success, I had to play the games in the corporate capitalist structures. So I also know that when you're at university and the students, they still don't really know what they want to do, but the kind of attitude now and the values of the younger generation, they want to make change. They need something practical to guide them into making those changes, as a lot of them wouldn't know how or have the confidence.
That's interesting. So are you saying a university's not covering this enough? Is it not big enough part of their own structures, their own teaching?
I think it's all in the system. So universities were built on a different structure to produce different work types of workers, but we're not in that world now. We have to recreate systems and redesign how we go about work. So university, it was all about how the percentage of employment rate you had coming out of it, but now it's not about being employed. It's about, okay, how do you want to make a difference in the world now, because we have a lot to do and we need all the help.
And quite honest, it's not just marketing and business courses, it's all courses should be set up with a degree of this in it, of course.
And that's what's, again, that's very exciting about these programs I'm developing, because I'm not just drawing on one type of subject area. I'm drawing in scientists, I'm drawing in artists, I'm drawing in all different types of people to come together to recreate how we build businesses, how we design systems. And that came into, like, as we previously spoke about waste. So we created waste as humans. And that says we can design other ways. That doesn't mean that waste is an output anymore. It goes back to the innovators that say, okay, well, when we're designing our business models, we have to account for that waste is not allowed anymore. That's not acceptable. I think too many things in the past have been acceptable, and it goes then back to changing our values. And I think we're very much there now. Everybody is open to these conversations and to making these changes.
Yeah, but what's achievable? Because there's always going to be waste.
So yeah, it's you can't change the world overnight. So it's about getting lots of different plates spinning with the same thinking. So for example, when you're creating a food brand, at the moment the corporates have lots of output of products that then the startup brands can take and say, okay. I mean, there's an amazing company I've discovered called Agro Singularity, and they take the waste from, like, broccoli that's never used, but actually that's the most nutritious part.
Yes.
And they turn that into powders that then a bakery has started making bread with. And then when that bread, the bread that's not used, then goes into a beer company to make beer. So it's having that kind of thought process. Okay, we're not just, it's end to end. What can we be doing with this product to ensure that there is no waste and everything's being reused and made more efficient?
I love the idea of making broccoli bread.
Oh yeah,
and broccoli beer.
Yeah.
I mean, is it true that if we cut waste, then we wouldn't have to worry too much about all the other UN sustainability goals? This is like the number one aim, isn't it?
It is, but no, there's lots of those goals. It's the health
17.
and well-being, but they all kind of feed each other. I mean, I got frustrated that it's so much on the consumers to, make sure that you buy this, make sure you buy that, don't buy that. But really, at the end of the day, we are in a lifestyle where convenience is number one. And technology has created this convenience. With that also comes responsibility, because I saw a program. It was about how to save on waste, because this family they're a very busy family. It's an average UK family, and they had their Tesco weekly order on repeat. So they kept on receiving the same goods every week. And then they don't really like cooking, so they're ordering takeout every night. So really, those systems are creating more waste, because it's sort of encouraging a certain type of behavior. I like the business models of, is it Gusto and Hello Fresh and all of those. I mean, I think that's fantastic, because that does solve the problem for the person that doesn't really know how to cook, just to have the ingredients there. But I really think it's a case of, let's put less pressure on the consumer and go back to the systems and work out how we can create systems that also have responsibility.
If you're talking to a potential entrepreneur, food business, in the past you'd have said, what's your idea? What's your marketing look like? Get it to market. Surely the questions are different now. Where would you start?
It's really about how you think about building a business. I actually just posted a blog post about Ikigai. It's a Japanese model, so it's based on when you have a passion to do something. Before you do it, you have to ask yourself, do you love it? That's number one. Does the world need it? And I think a lot of people don't really question if the world needs it. So that's where our downfall has been. Are you good at it? And does it, for me, it's does it contribute to a circular economy? And if it doesn't, then that's where we're not solving the problem. I think it's learning how to start working together. I mean, we're still in a capitalist society, so we've got to work with that. It's now the notion of collaborations. So not everyone can be good at everything. So it's choosing your part that you want to be in. And then based on those values that you have, really finding those people that can complement what you're doing to build a bigger output for what you're doing. So it's really, we working how we work rather than being in competition with each other. Let's really look at how we can collaborate with each other.
How do we pull the big corporates back into this mindset?
I think they're there. I think the problem they have is they're just too big and they can't move fast. And that's the thing. Before I started helping the startups, and I saw the corporates as the enemy, like I was so frustrated. But now they really are. I've noticed just in the past year with the pandemic that they're really open to these conversations now. Universities too. Before, universities were very comfortable. They got their fees, they got the outputs. But now they're being shaken up with blended learning, people questioning, do I need to do this degree? So that everybody knows they've got to cooperate now. And that's why I'm so excited, because I'm kind of joining the dots. I think also going into business, there's a whole factor on investment and how you manage that. That's another big piece of work. And a lot of people are very naive to that. I see that there's this halfway opportunity to allow people to collaborate together to grow, to build their own businesses.
Thank you so much for your time, Sarah. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that. And I hope to speak to you again further down the line when all these innovation programs are established.
It's a date. No problem. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. The Planet Driven Brands podcast is the brainchild and copyright of Nick Jones and is broadcast in partnership with theplanetsagency.com. Planets Agency is a partnership of consultants and communications experts. We build planet-driven brands. During the series of shows, we'll be hearing from more experts and we would love for you to be involved. Please do comment or come back to us with questions. We'll be happy to engage. If you wish to be notified when our episodes are broadcast, please subscribe on the website. If you'd like to be part of the show, we'd love to hear from you. We look forward to many more entertaining episodes. Thanks again for listening.